Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Jet's Diary. I'm Jet and I share about my journey as a gay Christian growing up in a relatively conservative environment. In this episode of Jet's Diary, I want to continue talking about the reflection on my mental health this year. If you've listened to the previous entry of Jet's Diary, I talked about the challenges that I've faced at work with people that tore me apart in the last 4 years. I work in the Christian ministry. A lot of people step into this industry thinking that it's going to be all rainbows and fun. But in all honesty, we're all broken people. Everyone carries some form of baggage and brokenness. And when broken people come together, there will inevitably be lots of tensions and rubbing people in the wrong way. If you've missed that episode, I'll leave the link at the top of this video and in the description, so do check it out to get the full picture of what I'm about to share. In the last episode, I mentioned that I just couldn't move forward at my workplace anymore. I felt that I was emotionally abused by people. I had staff shouting, ranting, and crying. And just to clarify, it's not a daily thing, but when it hits you emotionally, it deposits something into your brain. And no matter how I took time off to recover, it didn't quite remove it. It's like, when you go to the beach, you step on the sand, and it's hard to get rid of it. Even after you've taken a shower, washing thoroughly, you still find sand somewhere on you as you reached home. And probably for the next few weeks, you'll still find sand in the pant pocket or in your bag or in your phone cover. They just latch on to you. If you live by the beach and happen to visit every day, these friends just add up to your repository and start appearing everywhere in your life. I won't be surprised if it appears in your coffee as well. That's how it felt. So over time, as I accumulated the sand in my pocket, my hair and my shoes, eventually it just took one person to raise their voice a little bit. In a meeting room, it sent me to a saga of panic attack. We were only 10 minutes into this meeting with a room of 10 people. I quietly stood up and walked out of the room. For the next 1 hour, I sat in the corner of this really huge open office space and tried to keep myself away from people. I found myself rocking my body back and forth, something that I did when I was a teenager as well. When I was a teenager, I would often jump out of bed in the middle of the night, curled up on the floor in a corner of my room beside the wardrobe, and started rocking my body, tearing until I fell asleep. I didn't quite know why, but the emotions just comes unexpectedly. Looking back as an adult, I've always thought that it could have to do with being gay and a Christian, and I struggled with the conflict between faith and sexuality. Now, this was in the early 90s, so it's not as widely talked about as we do today. I just didn't have anyone to turn to. Following that incident in the office, I excused myself for the rest of the day, and this was even when I had my supervisors from London in town for the week. But it just got to a point where I felt unsafe, and I could at any point hurt someone or even myself. This is when I decided that I needed professional help. A few sessions in with the counselor, she told me something that struck me as a very interesting piece of information. The counselor told me that in my series of interaction with some people, these people or particular people have only contributed 10% of my emotional outburst. 90% of it are from memories in the past. So for example, the illustration that I gave about the sand that I've accumulated from the past, they've been lodged into my memory and my body is naturally reacting to them. And the key to overcoming it is to regulate our emotions. My understanding is that regulating our emotions is like training our muscles. The more we learn about our triggers and tools to regulate our emotions, we get better with our mental health. People who are taught this at a young age tend to grow up much positive and mentally healthy person. Unfortunately, in my case, I didn't have that. Majority of us, children that grew up in the 90s in the Asian household, did not have that. Of course, some have learned along the way, others just didn't know that there is something that can be done about it. So if you do go through mental health challenges, now I'm not talking about stress because I couldn't get a parking or I have too much to do. I'm talking about those that has chemical reaction or psychological reaction or even nervous system reaction that is beyond our control. It snaps at you like a claw and just doesn't go away. I just want to say that there is a way out. I'm blessed to have a church community that provides an outlet and friendship for me to talk about it. So I really empathize with people who don't have trusted people to lend an ear. I'll pause here for this episode of Jet's Diary. That's a lot that I've discovered about myself just in this 1 year alone. Some are even discovered through a chat with AI, but I've verified these discoveries with my therapist. If you've listened to my story up to this point, I'm a gay Christian working for a global Christian charity. I have 2 master's degrees, one in Christian theology and biblical studies and the other in fashion. Yonder and Jet is a channel to connect with gay Christians and the wider Christian community from around the world. We're not here to promote an agenda, but a platform to journey together as we anchor on God in the endeavor of our faith. So please help us to reach the people who might be interested by sharing our channel and subscribe to us so you don't miss the next part of this story. See you in the next one.